At approximately 9:30 last night, a rockfall occurred at the Beaconsfield gold mine. An extensive search and rescue operation is now underway.
I said to myself, I'm not dying here. I said, no, I'm not dying here. This take a bit more and a bit of rock to stop me.
The whole world was chasing that story. Not just Australian media. Oprah wanted this story. Everyone, David Letterman, I think, wanted the story, and Diane Sawyer wanted this. Everyone wanted this story. Everyone wanted to know how these boys had done it, how these boys had survived.
Todd was in trouble, right? I knew that. I was buried sort of up to my armpits, and so all I could do was just say, well, look, buddy, we've got to hold on.
I desperately wanted to talk to them. I wanted very much to meet them. I wanted to know what that process was like for them down there, because we were up top monitoring it, in detail every single day. And I could not imagine what it was like down there.
Todd and Brant's predicament could not have been worse. After the earth tremor and catastrophic cave-in, they were trapped a kilometre below the surface in pitch blackness, with only a tiny cage to protect them from the massive unstable rock above.
The first few days that they were down there, they didn't think they were going to be found. I mean, they could hear the blasting and they could hear the, excavation happening. That was the rescue effort. And while it was happening, the rocks were shaking all around them, and they thought, they're going to bury us. They don't know we're alive. And they were yelling out, and they were singing, and they were doing everything to get attention, and they couldn't get attention.
But each time they'd fire, we'd look at Brant, we'd shake hands. There's another one, mate. But each time they fired...
What, you mean you'd shake hands and congratulate each other on surviving?
Yep, yeah, surviving another firing.
Another one, yeah.
So they started thinking, well, we're going to die. And when they find our bodies, we need to tell them that we were alive for a while. So they wrote notes to their families, and they wrote notes so that, the rescuers knew how long they lived, what day it was, and what blast it was, and what was the one that killed them.
I can't imagine how hard it must have been for you two.
That was the hardest part of the ordeal, I think, was writing them letters to the loved ones at home.
And talking about your family.
And talking about your family.
And we sort of made a pact with each other, because we didn't know if we were both going to get out. So we had a pact with each other that, we'd...
I'd given Brant messages to pass on to my family.
I had messages for Todd, for mine, and sort of just the sort of things you do in survival, sort of...
Imagine the presence of mind. I mean, there are so many things about that story that still resonate for me, and the fact that they were able to even think like that, the fact that they just didn't give up the ghost while they were down there. I mean, they couldn't even, for one of them to lie on his back, the other one had to be on his side. They couldn't stretch out. For one of them to stretch his legs, the other one had to be crumpled up. They were 2 weeks underground like that. They were so bent and broken when they came out that when we did that interview, we had to keep taking breaks for them to stand because they couldn't sit for a long time. They were so broken, so physically broken, but mentally, extraordinarily intact. I still don't know how.
You don't take for granted until you've lost it, And when you get to that stage where you think that you've lost it, I just say to them people out there, never take anything for granted. Always love what you've got.
Yeah.
They were colleagues but not friends when they went down. They didn't know each other that well. Brant was good friends with Larry Knight, actually. So Brant's loss, when he found out that Larry had died, that was a massive kick in the guts for him. But they were very different kind of men. I mean, they were both married men, they were both fathers, they were both miners, they had that in common. That was pretty much where the similarities ended. And here they were, stuck underground for 2 weeks, and they had to survive. They had to rely on each other to survive. They would never have come out of that hole without each other, I don't think.
But we made a pact from day one. It's Brant and I. And that pact's going to stay as strong as it is now for the rest of our lives.
Good morning and welcome to our continuing coverage of the Beaconsfield mine rescue, and it appears the long wait will soon be over for Todd Russell and Brant Webb. There is increasing confidence that after 14 nights trapped underground, Todd and Brant will be brought to the surface within the next few hours.
It was like an all-hands-on-deck Australian rescue effort to save these two men while they were busy also saving themselves and saving their sanity underground. And it worked. It worked against all odds. And it was a credit to absolutely everybody involved, not just the two blokes who came out, but to every single person who put their blood and their sweat and their tears into getting them out of there. So it was an Aussie, success story.
Here they come.
Oh, yes. Oh. You can hear the crowd cheering now.
Here they come.
There it is.
It's true.
They're back.
Oh my goodness, look at them.
They're walking. They've taken their tags. They've popped off.
Just come out of that cage and see Carolyn and my 3 kids and mum and dad and my sisters and brothers and good mates, and just to see the whole family there was just mind-blowing.
Can you remember the first thing you said?
I just told her that I loved her and everything's going to be fine now, and I'm free, I'm home, and just to hold them and that is fantastic.
I was so pleased when they came out that day. I just wanted to hoot and holler and scream with joy when they walked out of that lift and went and hugged their families. I was so pleased they were above ground and they could see the sky. It was because I just imagined them every single night under there, and I imagined how it would be. I was just so pleased to be able to sit down there and ask them all the questions that I wanted to ask them, that I don't remember being nervous. Just remember being eaten up with curiosity.
What did you learn about each other down there?
Just about everything.
Our strengths. Our strength.
Our weaknesses. You're more aware of, you're not immortal anymore. You're not, 5'11" and bulletproof.
They have gone back to being, the very different people that they were before they got stuck underground. But I think they were changed probably forever by those 2 weeks. How that manifests itself in how they live, I don't know, and that's up to them. But, that's the biggest thing that's ever happened to them. It's the biggest, it's defining, it's life defining.